All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be breaking down the round 2 picks here for the RBC Heritage for Showdown and giving you guys some bets that you could potentially jump on. So let's go ahead and get into it. And so let's just start out with the Showdown tab. So I'm in round 2 and I'm just clicking on Showdown rank. And so what we're going to see here is that the two best Showdown plays are going to be the two best plays from this week that didn't go out and play well. That makes perfect sense. So you got Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele, two players that on paper were expected to play extremely well, and that just didn't happen in round 1. And so it makes perfect sense why there are two players that you would just naturally think are going to have a much better round in round 2 than what they had in round 1. Thus, they're going to be great round 2 options. I really love the idea of firing those two both off. You're going to see Patrick Cantlay is expected to play good as well in round 2, as well as Aubert, Cameron Young. Those were players that we're already pretty much on, as well as Tagala. So after Scotty and Xander, like it is somewhat like kind of obvious. I mean, it's a 70-man field. We're not going to get too crazy with it. There's nothing that's like significantly standing out to me here. Like we don't need to go crazy with it. I think this stuff makes sense. And so the only thing that I might do is jump into the 9-to-5 custom model. And the only thing I think I really want to do is do like round 2 showdown rank. I want to do that, but I also still want to put a emphasis on studs and duds. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. And so we're still going to get all the same players that are basically popping up in there, but we also are telling it that we want to get to some of those lower price plays still as well, like Pavon, Hoagie, some of those plays as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this, and you guys will see it exports like this to a CSV file. And then we just go ahead and upload that file here. Well, you would click right here, upload CSV file. And so now all those projections are going to be in there for round 2. Now you could naturally adjust those. I wouldn't say go too crazy with this. It really depends on what you guys are trying to do. If you're doing 150 entry max lineups here, yes, this is a good source. If you're doing 20 entries, maybe don't need to do this because the data will already naturally tell you guys which plays to be on. But let's just run about 75 lineups here and see what it tells us is spitting out to us as good plays. And while that's running, I do just want to call it that like this round 2 is kind of like round 3 and a little bit not really like round 4 showdown, but round 3. And I just, because of the reduced field to it, and I personally don't really like attacking round 3 too much. So just as an FYI there. But let's see. I didn't cap this at all. Let's do this again. So 3 unique players, 35% max exposure. I want to do that. And by the way, guys, the lineup builder has me in first place of the all tournament field event right now. And a couple of the GPPs there tied with someone, so I'm guessing they use this tool as well as the exact same lineup, which albeit, oh well. And so here we go. Here would be the optimal build then. Xander, Clark, Tagala, Pavon, Hoagie, and then Kirk Kitayama. I'm kind of okay with that. Let's see the player exposure here. And so we're getting a lot of Wyndham, Clark, Pavon. So it is trying to do the studs and duds. What we're going to notice here is again, it's not really pulling in Scotty. And so what I might do here is I might just go into Scotty and let's just lock him into him and Xander both into like at least 30 builds, maybe 40 for Xander. I feel more comfortable about him going very low in round 2 than I do Scotty. I think Scotty's going to have a fine round though. And so here we go. I ended up locking in Xander to 40% of builds and then Scotty into 31% of builds. You're going to see that it does end up doing a much more kind of studs and duds approach then. And then real quickly, let's just run it without doing any sort of like any custom model data to it, just because I'm interested to see what the data spits out to us. We do know that we want to be on these two the most, and I think the data is naturally going to put them in there. So let's run about 75 again. You can do 20, you can do 10, whatever here. But I might do half. I haven't even checked if they have the 150 max for round 2, but my plan would be to do half with studs and duds approach and then half with the optimal approach. And so, yeah, we're going to see we're getting 30. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I would want. Maybe a little bit more Aubert, only 11% for him. But it is going to give us a lot of Cameron Young as well. So like, I'm kind of okay with that. Probably do want to favor a little bit more of the early tee time. So maybe I try to get to Aubert a little bit more than Cameron Young, but like we're pulling teeth there. And so let's just see what that does. I slightly update Aubert's a little bit there. And so, yeah, still 36% Scotty, then 24. This is good. I like this. Again, maybe could get to a little bit more of Ludwig there, but I'm okay with that. This is good. So I'm going to download this, then upload it to Draftkings. And then let's just jump into the betting tab here. So I just want to sort by outright, see what kind of bets Vegas is currently thinking are the best bets, see if we can get any good live bets for you guys. So Colin Morikawa currently the favorite to win, as well as Aubert, and then JT Poston. Scotty Scheffler still 4th on the list. That's how dominant he's been. That's pretty crazy, right? Cameron Young, who was not right for us, looking pretty good. Albert looking pretty good for us. I don't really see that much actionable information. Let's jump into the EV betting tab to see if there's anything there that the data is calling out to us as maybe a good potential bet that we can jump on. And really the only good ones that we have potentially are Scotty and Xander related in terms of good EV bets. Now it's for you guys to decide if you like those, but we are going to see that, you know, some of the sites are just undervaluing those guys. And again, those are going to be good round 2 plays. So that kind of correlates pretty well with those being good showdown pit or good live EV bets there for you guys. Now it is a 70-man field, it's no cut event, so it wouldn't be shocking to see those two guys both have low rounds tomorrow. That put them in the mix. Maybe put Xander into the top 25, top 15 even. Scotty could easily get into contention as well. So yeah, if you like these bets, by all means, they're decent ones. I wanted to call those out. I personally don't see any big edges here in terms of like EV bets that I feel like we need to go out of our way to target. Yeah, not really at all to me. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into some 3-ball bets here for you. And actually, they're just matchup bets today because obviously they're going off in 2s here. But looking at guys, Benny Yan over Cam Davis. We got Harris English over Tom Kim. Patrick Cantlay over Seamus Power. Scotty over Jordan. Xander over Colin Morikawa. These are all ones that I do agree with. The issue is like, at what point do we stop, right, with these? I'm perfectly happy to just bet really the top 10 of these as single entry type bets, and the payout's still going to be pretty good here across the board. And so I'm kind of okay with all those. So if you guys want to run those out, if there's one that stands out to you, by all means run that out. But now let's go ahead and get into some prop bets. So guys, I was worried I was going to make this video and then we weren't going to have any props out just yet, but we are getting some good some prop bets here. We'll see if we have any good ones there for both PrizePicks and Underdog. And so as it sits right now, in terms of like any edges that we have between PrizePicks and Underdog, PrizePicks, we don't have any edges right now. We can check by prop line difference. I had a pretty darn good day just betting on some prop line differences. And this is something I tweeted out as well. Like Corey Connors, what ended up middling with a clutch birdie on 18, but his strokes were off by 1.5 between the two sites, and that ended up hitting on both sites, which ended up being huge. That was a big turning point in my day today. Right now, we really aren't getting any edges in terms of strokes. All the lines are essentially where they should be. We're going to go in now and take a peek at Underdog, where we are getting a slight edge in a couple of props. Really, the best one is going to be Xander for under birdies or better. Again, that very much correlates pretty well, or under bogeys or worse, sorry. Under bogeys or worse, 1.5 for Xander. Okay, compared to the field, he's probably not going to get 1.5 bogeys because, well, you expect him to play better. The data expects him to play better. That all correlates really well with this being a good bet on paper. So Xander under 1.5 birdies or better is a good one. And then we're going to get into the full board here. And I'll say right now, interesting some of the prop bets that are popping up here on the full board. So we got Xander, we're already doing that one. And I don't know if I exactly want to do Scotty for under fantasy points because, again, he's a showdown pick that we like. Now, Sam Burns is popping up for his over fantasy points. That's one where I don't know if I like either. He's been someone that, pun intended, has burned me lately. So I don't know if I want to run that one out, but I will. That's what the day is telling us to do. But really, we only have 2 good bets on paper. We got 2 bets that are about 54% likelihood or better to hit. That's Xander and that's Scotty. Again, I don't know if I exactly want to bet Scotty for under his fantasy points. So really the only one I like, and I almost said love, but the only one I really like is going to be Xander for under 1.5 bogeys or worse. Let's hope he gets 0. I think he had 2 on a bad day. He had 2, so that's something I like. Then we have some other decent ones here as a whole, but I kind of want to wait and see. I was gonna say I want to wait and see what the other lines are here. And these, let me get a refresh here. These seem to be higher than Underdog, so let me get a refresh on this real quick. And so yeah, I just did the data refresh. Not as crazy as I was thinking it would be. But yeah, I mean, you could do Scotty under 5 birdies or better on PrizePicks because, well, the chances of him getting 6 to get the over are not as likely. That's not a bad one. Scotty under 5.5 birdies or better was a really clutch one on PrizePicks throughout the week. That was there for at least a day, I believe, a day and a half. I ended up cashing a couple of slips because of that one. And then these other ones, I don't know if I exactly need to chase. Not as big of prop line differences as I thought. So no bet of the day for PrizePicks and Underdog. I do like Scotty for under 5 birdies, I guess. But if you're doing that, you might as well just do the under fantasy points on Underdog. But I do really like the under 1.5 bogeys or worse for Xander. So that'd be my favorite bet. But that's going to be all for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give a like and subscribe. Do appreciate that. Good luck in round 2. And as always, let's keep cashing. Oh, if you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com. They're available for $10 a month. All right, that's all. And as always, let's keep cashing.